Okay, so get ready for this because today we're going to be diving into something pretty interesting. This initiative called Walk4Future.
Walk for future.
Yeah, Walk4Future. And it's all about sustainable fashion and mindful consumption, but with like a twist.
Okay. A twist. How so?
Well, they're actually connecting it to walking, like for real.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've got their website and blog up, so we're going to be going pretty deep on this one.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with this Walk for future?
Well, they're all about sustainable fashion, but what's fascinating is they're not just telling people to buy less, they're promoting a whole lifestyle shift, I think.
Mmm.
They even have this motto for 2025. It's walk more, spend less, invest better.
Catchy. I like it.
Yeah, it's super catchy.
But what does it actually mean in practice?
Well, it's more than just a slogan, right? It
Mhm.
actually represents their three core elements:
Okay.
walking, fashion, and sustainability.
Gotcha.
So it's not just about the clothes you wear, it's about like how you live your whole life, you know?
Right. It's a holistic approach.
Exactly.
And they're not just talking the talk, they're actually walking the walk, literally. In 2024, the founder, Martina, walked over 1,400 kilometers from Austria to Paris, meeting all sorts of people along the way who are like making changes happen in the fashion world.
Wow, 1,400 kilometers. That's a really long walk.
Yeah, but for 2025, there's been a bit of a shift in their approach.
So what are they doing differently this year?
Well, they're kind of moving away from that one big symbolic walk and focusing more on collective action. So the idea is that everyone can participate in their own way, wherever they are, and like contribute to the movement as a whole.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. So instead of just watching someone else do something amazing, you're empowered to actually be the change yourself.
Exactly.
Cool. So tell me more about this Martina person, the one who walked all that way. Who is she?
Well, her full name is Martina Gleissenebner-Teskey, and honestly, she's kind of a force of nature.
Okay, in what way?
She's got this like wildly diverse background. She was a model in the 90s, a UN representative, a sustainable lifestyle advocate, an author, a coach. She was even a finalist on Germany's Next Top Model.
Wait, hold on. Germany's next top model. Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting at all. It's not every day you see someone go from the runway to, leading a sustainability movement.
Right, but that's what makes Walk for Future so interesting, I think. It's not just the usual like eco-warrior message, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's about bringing together style, personal growth, and responsible living, but in a way that feels fresh and accessible to everyone.
Yeah, okay. I'm definitely getting more curious about this whole thing now. So how is Walk4Future actually different from other sustainability movements out there? What makes them stand out?
Well, one thing that's really unique is their emphasis on walking. And I don't just mean as exercise, but as a tool for mindfulness and connection with nature. They
Right.
believe that like slowing down and really experiencing the world around you is key to changing your consumption habits.
Ah, so it's like walking becomes a sort of gateway
Yeah.
to a more mindful way of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And by combining that with fashion, they're tapping into something really powerful, because fashion is all about self-expression, right?
Yeah, of course.
But Walk for Future wants us to think about how that expression can be aligned with our values, with taking care of ourselves and the planet.
I see. It's about being more conscious about the choices we make.
Exactly.
And that ties back into their motto, invest better. It's not just about buying less stuff. It's about investing in things that actually matter. Experiences, relationships, personal growth, and supporting businesses that are doing good in the world.
It's like they're saying, hey, you can still love fashion, but let's do it in a way that doesn't cost the earth. And speaking of which, this year's walk is going from Amsterdam to Frankfurt.
One of the things that really stood out to me on their website was the variety of people who are supporting this.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It's not just one type of person.
Absolutely. They've got quotes from all sorts of people, from fashion industry veterans working in the industry for decades and now wants to really address the overproduction problem.
Yeah, and it's not just people from within the industry either.
Right. You've also got people who are just everyday people who are inspired by Walk for Future to kind of change their own consumption habits and push back against this whole throwaway culture we live in.
It's interesting how each person connects with the movement in a different way. It seems like Walk4future is providing this framework for people to connect their personal values with their fashion choices. It really shows how this movement is about inclusivity and everyone finding their own way to participate no matter who they are or what their abilities are. But it's not all just walking and inspiration quotes, right? Right, they have a blog too.
Yeah, what's on the blog?
Well, it's packed with all sorts of practical advice and thought-provoking ideas. For example, Have you ever considered doing a no new clothes challenge?
I haven't, but I've definitely heard of them. What's the walk4future version like?
They're promoting a 90-day challenge where you commit to not buying any new clothes for 3 months.
90 days, huh? It's a long time.
Yeah, it's definitely a commitment, but it's a really effective way to break the cycle of fast fashion and make you really appreciate what you already own.
It would definitely force you to be more mindful about your wardrobe choices, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What else is on the blog?
They have this one post all about like understanding the materials in our
Yeah.
clothes and how they impact the environment.
They even get into the tricky issue of new materials that claim to be sustainable, but might actually contain hidden plastics.
Oh, so greenwashing, basically.
Exactly. And they encourage readers to be skeptical and do their research, which I think is so important.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all the marketing hype around sustainable products, so it's good that they're promoting critical thinking about those things.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one blog post that really caught my eye, the one where Martina kind of questions the whole point of walking for sustainable fashion when the world seems to be in flames.
Ah, yes, that's a really thought-provoking one. It gets to the heart of the matter. With so many global challenges happening right now, it's easy to feel like individual actions are just a drop in the bucket, like they don't really
Oh,
matter.
exactly. So how does Walk for Future address that? Like that tension between individual action and the bigger picture?
Well, they don't shy away from the complexity of it all. They acknowledge that, yes, we need systemic change, but they also believe that individual choices matter.
So it's not about pretending that buying a sustainable t-shirt is going to solve climate change, but rather about making conscious choices that reflect your values and hopefully inspire others to do the same.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And what's interesting is how they tie this idea back to their whole invest better concept.
Right.
It's about using your resources, your time, money, energy, in a way that aligns with creating a better future.
Exactly.
And that can take many forms, right? From supporting sustainable businesses to getting involved in your community to just educating yourself about the issues.
Exactly. And sometimes it can be as simple as putting one foot in front of the other and taking a walk.
Okay, I'm definitely seeing how all of this fits together now. We've got walking for mindfulness, fashion for self-expression, and sustainability for, well, the future. But it's not just about these abstract ideas. They're offering real, concrete ways for people to get involved.
It's not about being perfect or having it all figured out, It's about just showing up, taking action, and making progress even when things are tough.
Yeah, for sure. Even with all these huge challenges happening around us, even just finding joy in the simple things like walking and connecting with nature can be a form of resistance.
It's like that old saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Right.
We can't let the enormity of these problems paralyze us. We have to focus on what we can do, like right here, right now.
And then Walk for Future seems to be saying one of those things we can do is walk, right?
Yeah.
Not just literally, but like metaphorically. Walk the path of mindful consumption, walk the path of personal growth, walk the path of creating a better future.
And what's so fascinating is that they're not just advocating for individual change, but they're also really good at using technology to build a global community, They've got virtual walks, online forums, a big social media presence. Is like they're creating this whole digital ecosystem for people to connect and share their experiences.
But it's really smart because, not everyone can physically walk across Europe like Martina did.
Yeah.
But they can participate online, they can connect with others, and they can get inspired.
Right.
I've been checking out their Instagram, and they've got these really stunning photos and inspiring quotes. And they're doing interviews with people who are making change happen, like on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things I appreciate about walk for future is they're using all the tools that are out there to reach as many people as possible and make sustainable living feel more accessible and engaging. It's not about preaching at people or making them feel guilty.
Wow.
It's about creating a positive and supportive environment where people can learn and share and grow together.
Yeah, you can definitely sense that feeling of community and shared purpose when you look at their content. It's like you're saying, hey, we're all in this together, and we can make a difference if we support each other. It's about being present in the moment, connecting with our bodies, with nature, and just finding that sense of inner peace that can help us resist the constant pressure to consume.
It's interesting how they connect all those dots.
Yeah.
It's not just about buying less stuff. It's about having a deeper understanding of ourselves and our values and like our place in the world.
Yeah, and it's about finding joy in those simple things, right?
Mm.
Experiencing nature, connecting with other people, challenging ourselves to grow. Those are the things that make life rich, not just the latest fashion trends or gadgets.
I think that's the core of their whole invest better philosophy. It's about shifting our focus from material possessions to experiences, relationships, and personal fulfillment.
And realizing that real style isn't about what you wear, but how you live.
Exactly. It's about expressing your values through your actions, your choices, and just how you move through the world.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, where personal style and mindful living and sustainable choices all come together.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Cool.
And walk4future is offering a roadmap for how to get there.
Hmm.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, though. It's
Right.
about finding what works for you and taking those first steps and just allowing yourself to kind of evolve along the way.
And it's about recognizing that we don't have to do it alone.
Right.
We have this incredible community of like-minded people all walking that same path toward a better future.
And that feeling of shared purpose is so powerful. It
Yeah.
gives us hope, it gives us inspiration, it gives us the motivation to keep going, even when things get tough.
Speaking of tough, we've talked a lot about the ideas behind walk4future, like the philosophy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of curious to learn more about the practical side of things.
Yeah.
Like, what are some actual things our listeners can do to get involved and make a difference? What are some tangible steps?
Well, that's what's so great about walk4futures. They offer all sorts of different options for getting involved to fit different interests and lifestyles.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's dive into those practical steps now.
Great.
Okay, so we talked about the philosophy, the people, all that. But what can our listeners actually do? How do they put this walk more, spend less, invest better into action? I mean, where do they even start?
Well, the first step's kind of obvious, right? Start walking more.
Yeah, get those steps in.
But I don't just mean hitting the treadmill at the gym. Get outside, explore your neighborhood, find some parks, some green spaces, maybe even grab a friend or two to come along with you.
It really is amazing how something so simple can have such a huge impact, not just physically, but like mentally too.
Yeah,
That fresh air, that time away from screens, it really can clear your head.
totally. And, while you're out there walking, why not turn it into a mindful walk? Really pay attention to your senses, the sights, the sounds around you. Just notice how your body feels as you move. It's a great way to de-stress.
Yeah, like hitting the reset button on your whole system. Okay, so we've got the walking part down. What about the spend LSS part?
Great place to start. Commit to not buying any new clothes. It's a good way to break out of that fast fashion cycle. And you might be surprised how much you already have in your closet.
It's so easy to fall into that I need something new trap.
Mm-hmm.
A challenge like that would really force you to get creative with what you already have.
Exactly. And then if you do need something, try looking for secondhand stuff first. Thrift stores, consignment shops. Online, you can find so many great things. Save some money, keep clothes out of landfills. It's a win all around.
It's like a treasure hunt. You never know what cool stuff you're going to find. And it really fits that invest better idea, right? Putting your money towards something that has a story behind it, something that's already been loved.
Speaking of invest better, think about how you can invest in yourself. Maybe that means taking a class, learning a new skill, or just giving more time to something you love.
It's about enriching your life from the inside out, not relying on material things to do it for you.
And don't forget about experiences. Instead of that new gadget, maybe you put that money toward a weekend trip, tickets to a show, a museum membership, something like that.
Yeah, those are the things that really make memories, shape who you are much more than anything ever could. And we can't forget about investing in your community, too. Supporting local businesses, volunteering, donating to organizations you care about. Those actions really have an impact.
Yeah, it's like that saying, be the change you want to see. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing. It can be small choices we make every day. Choosing to walk instead of drive. Fixing something that's broken. Having a conversation with a friend about sustainability. Those little things add up.
And you never know, you might inspire someone else to make a change, too. Walk4future started with just one person, right?
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen if we all took those little steps?
Exactly. So to all our listeners out there, if this resonates with you, don't hesitate. Start small, try things out, see what works, and most importantly, talk about it. Share your journey with other people.
Because that's how we create real change in the world. I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty inspired after all this.
Me too. I love how walking can connect to so many important ideas.
It shows there's always something new to learn. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Walk for Future, everyone.
And happy walking.